All right.
Okay, roll call. Tom Schreier?
Yep.
Sherry Waddington?
Here.
Elizabeth Collins?
Yes.
Dave Waddington? Bernie Seiler?
Yep.
Sean Coakley?
Excused.
Is he coming?
No, he's not coming.
Okay. Tandra?
Excused.
Barb? Annette Soleil?
Here.
Chris?
Here.
Thank you. Linda?
Here.
Larry?
Sure. Yay, Larry's here.
Devon? Devin?
Did not hear from Devin.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, looking over July's minutes. Any corrections, deletions? If
I move we accept.
I'm on the absence and the present.
I saw that, because you came late, so I think that's why.
Okay.
You're two people.
fix that.
We just have to adjust what?
Barb originally was excused, but then she came late.
She came
Okay.
late.
We'll make that change before putting in.
Byrne made a motion.
We accept.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have no guests. So let's move into old business. Tandra's not here. Jason, you taking that?
I will,
Okay.
but I'll probably make it quick. We finished our summer break camp. This was kind of one of the items from our non-existent August meeting. Things went really well for the summer break camp for the 7-week program, and then we followed that up with our Community Collaboration Day on July 28th and partnered with the Father's Heart Church. We closed Mill Street from Mill School all the way to Father's Heart. I think it was the hottest day of the summer, if I'm not mistaken. It was in the 90s, but there was a lot of water games and things for kids to do. So we plan on partnering next year for that as well and bringing back summer break camp for next year. Any questions on those two?
Nope.
Then it's Annette's turn.
And that? Golf course?
Okay, golf course first.
Yeah.
Okay, so number of rounds through the end of August, we're up 2,500 rounds from last year. Our revenue is up $29,597.50. Obviously, August with the storm, we did miss 7 days of play, so our revenue was down $4,500 in August, but we are trending just a little above last year. I anticipate the revenue picking up. We have some events coming up, so I expect our September balance to be more than last year. So I anticipate that. Storm damage, with the storm, obviously, from what people have told me, the flooding out there was like the floods of the 60s. It was crazy. It was running through the building. The cart barn created its own rapid on number 9, ran along in the billboard on 2 and down Tiffin Avenue, created its own pathway on 6th Fairway. Pretty much the whole course was underwater. If we wanted to get to the other side of the bridge, we had to go or drive around and take pictures. We tried to document it as best we could, daily updating it. So we did have some issues that way. We do have a tree on number 5's bridge. So that bridge is out of commission. We have scheduled some estimates for removal of the tree on number 5. It is a pretty big tree, and number 5's bridge has suffered some damage. So once we get the tree off, we'll have engineering. Josh Schneider's been involved with it. Have him take a look at what what he anticipates we can do. Then I want to report to the advisory committee as to what our next steps will be with that. So we anticipate the bridge being out for the remainder of the season, just because of, right now it's leaning, so we just want to make sure that we go through the proper channels with that. We also did lose the large pine tree next to the clubhouse. That has been removed. We just need to stump that. And then we lost a large branch by the drive on the other side. So that's what we did. The big tree that was dead on number 5 also came down. We still have that out there, but we will be removing that just in-house, having that. It's basically, once you pick it up, it starts to disintegrate anyways, so it's pretty rotten. We still need to reconnect the security lights back up, so we're working on that. And we did request an updated estimate on the irrigation system. We had received one earlier, but with the amount of flooding that we had, and we had an issue with the pipe along number 7's bridge, that we asked Century Equipment to update some of their quotes. Obviously, that's going to change because we found out that lightning did not strike our satellites, and actually water had gotten into that pole, into that conduit by number 7 bridge and had shorted it out. So that conduit needs to be replaced, and obviously we hadn't gotten to it before the flood, so we will have to do that. So I'm waiting for that information from Century Equipment so that we can get the satellites. We still are watering manually. In the evenings, Patrick is watering, and in the mornings, Jim has been watering. So we've been just trying to keep it going until we can get those systems going back up. So that's really about the storm damage that we had. I mean, looking at now, I think our course is in really good shape considering as much water we had on the course. So we've been fortunate that we've been able to, we were able to get it cleaned up what we could. Good news, I was contacted last week by the SBC Bay Division, and we will be hosting the SBC Bay Division Championship on next week. It'll be on the 19th will be the girls, the 21st will be the boys. It'll be a 9 a.m. shotgun start, 18 holes. Anticipate 60 golfers per day. We will be charging the SBC for this event $20 a golfer. So, and then we will be offering spectator carts. So, I mean, in reality, we could, between the 2 days with spectators, that could be $3,000 to $3,500 in additional revenue that we didn't anticipate. I'm working on getting a food truck on there. I made some contacts today. I'm just waiting to hear back. But it's been, they're having difficulties finding golf courses that will allow them to play. So we were very welcoming to have them come play at our course. We've seen a lot of the teams coming out practicing, so we've picked up some additional revenue that way.
It's great exposure for the course.
Yeah, it is. Actually, Lorraine High played Sandusky boys last night, and their coach came in and told Tom, Gerard happened to be working, and he said, I've never played this course before. We've never been here. He said, but what a nice little course you guys have. So we're hearing that more and more, which is a good thing. An update on, we have been collecting road grindings for the cart path. When Scott Street did their, they were doing the grindings there, we got those grindings, and then we are supposed to be getting the grindings when they start milling Monroe Street. So we're stockpiling that over at the golf course, so we'll be starting to get ready to get that installed. So hopefully that's going to be our winter project, that we can get that done and ready to go for the following season. Hard to believe we're almost done with golf season. We have a few more events left. We have this Saturday, we have our Glow Golf. Right now, I have 11 foursomes signed up, and that tees off at 8 o'clock. The Sunday, 10/1, we have our Greenskeeper Revenge outing, which is a new outing this year. Somebody had asked me a while back, would you consider doing this? Did a little research on it, and it's where you place obstacles all over the course, and then you have golfers play. So we're going to try it. I already have 2 teams signed up. So we're going to take only 36 golfers, so we can just kind of keep 1 per hole to see how that goes. And then 2 weeks later, the 15th, we have the backward scramble, and that's pretty much our last organized event that we have. We do have, from the storm, we have 1 private outing rescheduled, and we have 2 additional ones coming up at the end of the month. So that would be our 3 outside agencies using the course, and then our 3 remaining events. So we have 6 events coming up.
Where did St. Mary's end up doing, what did they end up doing at the school?
They golf it,
They are using it? Good.
yep.
For the last 2 years.
That's 2 years. Boys and girls, so we actually have 4 teams. Boys and girls Sandusky, boys and girls St. Mary's.
Wasn't there something else they were doing, though, that we questioned?
They used to be at Plum Brook, but.
What was it?
They used to be at Plum.
They were at Plum Brook.
But the person who paid for that, kid's no longer in school, so
Correct.
that's why.
I thought they were using it for something else, Mills, and we questioned it or something.
Cross country.
Oh, cross
A
country.
long time ago, they haven't done that.
Yeah,
Years.
yeah, that hasn't been since I've been here, and this is my 4th year out there. So once we presented to them how much revenue we were going to lose because of that, then because they opted, they didn't want to go ahead and host it if they were going to have to pay for it. Any other,
After those 2 high school events, the people that are searching for golf balls are going to have a bonanza.
they did. Somebody this morning said they went out and they went to pick up their ball. I think it was in your group, wasn't it, Dave? They found like 16 balls all in one spot, so.
I found 75
Ka-ching.
last Sunday. 75.
It's all good.
So
It's all good.
I did leave one thing out that due to the flooding, we are working with Erie Soil and Water, and we are going to, with their assistance, we're looking for some funding to deal with the erosion issues at Mills. And we've been in contact with the state and their H2O grant. The nice thing about this, we are in the Western Basin, so the Western Basin has an open-ended date for submitting for funds. So we are looking at working with them to do, more than likely it'll be a design build, where we will go ahead and, I guess, restore the creek bed throughout the golf course, the whole entire course. So I know Jason and myself and Bree have been kind of working on some figures and those types of things. So they're very excited because obviously Erie Soil and Water has one of their monitoring stations right at the golf course. And this is just another way that they can try to help clean it up. So that's coming down the pipe. As soon as we know more, we'll report on it.
Don't want to lose any more of the course to erosion. to
Yeah.
There's less places to,
And a
Play-
lot of
play
it
up.
is because, as I've learned, the way that they have changed the flow of the creek and some of the things that way that, water's going to find its own natural way to go someplace else. So we have pictures from when we had the earlier flood in March. March was the flood, and then the last flood to see how much we have lost. And right around 8, obviously, is where we've taken the biggest hit, where we've lost some of the creek beds, so.
That's where they redirected it way back when,
Yeah,
right?
way
Long
back.
time ago.
So that's
Almost before me.
almost before you. So that's something that's one of the things, the areas we really want to focus on is trying to maybe where they had brought all the dirt in on the island part, maybe kind of take some of that away so it's back more to the pond that it was at one time, so that we don't get, when we have the crashingness of when the water is flowing so fast, that we aren't such sharp 90-degree angles, that it just erodes away that way, so.
Dave remembers. He was during this time.
All right, moving on to Touch a Truck.
Touch a Truck. Touch a Truck event, obviously, I can't believe it's been that long ago. We had actually 43 outside agencies, 2 fire departments, 8 police departments, 6 food vendors. Donations were $6,370, which covers all of our expenses for the event. Weather was great. The crowd is probably one of the biggest crowds I've seen down there. With us expanding it all the way to Water Street is really perfect. We anchor with the fire department on Water Street, the police department in the parking lot, and we fill with Thor Sport right on Shoreline. And we have pictures of every area having large numbers of individuals. Once again, we had the Gentlemen's Club helping. They're always a great help. And actually, I didn't even include, we actually had 5 city agencies there, city departments there, who had new vehicles, demonstrations. It's a great event.
Same
Next year is the
Tuesday next
10th annual, too.
Wow.
year.
It's 10 next year.
Probably a middle of the week, or like a 6th, August 6th, we probably
Gonna
have the
get an
date.
airplane?
Airplane?
Just want the helicopter to.
Yeah, the
oh, that was an
helicopter,
update too.
we got out there, remember,
Helicopter
they got a call, so right in the middle, right before they landed.
They did 2
ended up.
loops around.
They took 2 loops
And we're
around.
like, they're gonna land, and then like,
They left. We're like, where are they
They
going?
left, so they actually got a call,
August 6th next year is
on
the,
the 6th. And at Safety Town?
Yep.
I just want to thank again just to Whiteman Weber Charitable Foundation for their $10,000. It is huge for us to run such a successful event. This year we had 60 individuals signed up, 50 graduated. Some didn't show, some couldn't make it through the week, and we offer them to come back if they'd like to. We were able to give away bike helmets. Thanks to Ironman for the donation of the bags, that we were able to give a bag to the kids and load all with their bike helmets. Any type of publications. This year we added 2 new organizations, which I'm sure they'll come back. We had Boat Squadron, Power Squadron.
Yep.
Power Squadron came and they brought Coastie. Kids really enjoyed that. And then we had Project Lifesaver with the railroad crossing, and they did a phenomenal job. The kids enjoyed that. We did do something different this year. Water safety was supposed to be at the high school in the pool, and they had closed the pool down like the week before. So Mario D'Amico convinced me it would be such a great experience to take all the kids down to Shelby Street Boat Launch, and we can do some water safety down there. So we did go ahead and purchase some life jackets, so every kid had a life jacket on, and I was a nervous wreck from the whole time we were down there. Tom Salmon did it. He actually did a great job. They had firefighters in the water showing the kids how to rescue. It was very good. It was an experience that I think the kids will remember. So we did go ahead and do that for our water safety this year, so. And that's all I have for that.
great job with Safety Town and Touch a Truck.
Back-to-back weeks.
Back-to-back weeks. I don't know why I do it, but when I'm done with it, it's like, relax.
Rec Center. Chris?
Thank you, sir. A couple updates. The geotech testing started Monday of this week, and they hope to be finished up by Friday. So we'll have the results back hopefully mid next week, they're telling us, as we move forward with that process out at the American Crayon site. In addition to that, we will announce either at the end of this week or the beginning of next week the public engagement dates for different community organizations, and also to the residents of Sandusky to come out and learn a little bit more about what the rec center might be, and talk to them a little bit too about issue 14, which is on the ballot in November. I just remind everyone here that is an operating levy that is very important to the existence of the recreation center, because we want this facility to be here 30, 40 years from now, so that our residents can continue to enjoy the amenities that we'll be able to offer out of that particular facility. We continue to work with the Sandusky City Schools and the Aquatic Center. As you know, they broke ground with the pool project out there, but we're really working with them hand in hand with the community access and what that might look like as far as programs coming out of the pool, if it were to be a lifeguard training course, aqua aerobics, kayaking, safety, et cetera. So we continue to work hand in hand with the school system to figure out what that's going to look like as far as a program menu to the residents of not only Sandusky, but Erie County in general. So questions, anything else, Jason, you'd like to add?
Okay, covered it all.
Yes.
Spoke with Eric Wipser today. I originally showed him the pamphlet, that we had. I've been taking that around because I've been doing door to door. Today I did Chalet, Alpine, and 13th Street. And I probably talked to 15 people. I think, the way it sounds, just my opinion, it sounds like it will pass. A lot of people, the other thing was that I told Eric, he was on his way to Milan when we talked, but I caught up with him Friday. I met with him for about an hour, is to do more collaboration with the schools. When I worked, I was the weight coordinator for 10 years. I would open the buildings up in the morning, let folks walk. Just another thing until this gets done, like a working relationship. I had the whole back end. I'd open up, and people would come in and walk, and that worked out good. And maybe look at that to get more community buy-in.
Absolutely. Great idea.
It's bigger than the pool. You got to have relationships where they feel good about, Barb, you remember when I did the weight room years ago, don't you? You were around for that. And I opened that up early in the morning, and we had a lot of walkers come in. And I had a different opportunity after 10 years. After picking up weights, 4:30 in the morning, I had people coming in at 11, 12 at night, and I'd go up and get Dan the and look at the video. That's one thing that was a whole different time, but I picked up plates for about a half hour every morning. Plates and dumbbells everywhere.
And the flyer that Mr. Waddington's referring to,
Yep.
if you haven't seen it, we'll send it out to you electronically. I'll get that out to you tomorrow. But then on the back of it, we're going to have a working document. It's an FAQ of different questions that we're hearing as we go out to these community events and community groups. Questions that they may have in regards to, what's a membership cost, what that might look like. So we're in the process of putting a range together of what that might be, what the hours of operation would be, et cetera. So that'll be a working document. We'll have like 5 questions on the initial document, and then that'll be a working document that'll be posted on the city's rec page. And it will continue to answer those questions as we get those when we're out visiting with the communities.
All right.
Talking about touch truck and safety zone, like Ironman was 6 weeks ago. The event, if you hadn't heard, went pretty well for the year 2. We had about 1,500 athletes coming to town with their families. One day of having the event and the road closures, and there were some traffic things that we're going to iron out for next year, pun intended, to make sure that goes even smoother next year. Next year's the last year of the contract with them. But from what I've gathered from commission leadership and from Shores and Islands and also the Ironman folks is they'd like to continue to have that event in Sandusky for a longer term if possible. So we'll be kind of getting some of the details and the ideas, and we'll be working on that for the next few months to see if we can figure out some sort of extension for the event. But from what I've heard, there's been a lot of good feedback from all over, volunteers, athletes. They've actually canceled one of their Ironman events up in Michigan. They have two in Michigan currently. They canceled one, so they expect a bump to where we could see as many as 2,000 athletes be part of the event in future years. So that's kind of fun there. If there's any, feedback that you have that you've heard from folks, always my cell phone is on and my email is open. Or if you want to have a conversation after the meeting or have something you want to bring up about Ironman here, please do. But we're really happy with that event. And the next year's event is July 21st. Is that right?
Look at you.
Yeah, 2024.
All right, anything else on our old business? Let's jump into new business. Jason?
Speaking of the Shelby Street Boat Launch and firefighters and water safety, we have Dragons and Bacon Fest is returning this weekend. We could still use volunteers if anybody wants to come out and help out with that event, getting, life jackets for the paddlers. And we have 10 teams for this year, which is down from the previous year that we did in 2019, but we're bringing the event back after a 3-year hiatus. So the first year we had the event, we only had 9 teams. So we're hoping that, this can build. We have the boats coming in on Friday with a practice session, and then the event is from 8 a.m. And I think with the 10 teams, we'll probably be done wrapping up around 2 p.m. on Saturday. There's a few bacon options with Dockside and Gaucho and the Gringa and Sandusky House of Donuts so far. And we're kind of limiting the food trucks just so it's good for them. And we don't know how the event's going to come back for this year, but looking forward to that. The weather looks, fingers crossed, perfect. Northwest wind is 6 miles an hour. Alma Bay is great for us for this event, so we're hoping that stays. Like I said, if you want to help volunteer or actually get in a boat, you could probably even get you on a boat if you wanted to paddle in the event. I think you offered during the commission meeting to be in a boat, like the commissioners were.
Mine's backed out, man.
But that's always a fun event. You've got to clean up probably, right? On Saturday.
In the morning.
Yeah. Any questions on Dragons and Bacon Fest?
Park updates?
Park updates, some just basically housekeeping things. We will be doing aerating golf course, the Great Lawn at Jackson Street Pier. We will do Washington Park, and we're looking at aerating the ball fields. We're finalizing that, how we want to do it. Obviously, aerating the golf course is in its own little beast of an event, but we're looking at probably doing it right after October, that first Monday and Tuesday in October. And then what we'll just basically do is aerate. We're looking to rent a riding aerator since we have so much area to cover, that we will start aerating and just hit all of these locations. Obviously, we know the other ones, the Great Lawn, Washington Park, and ball fields, the extent of their cleanup is just a mow after that. So we won't have to do any filling of the holes and seeding. We will go ahead and overseed the Great Lawn. I'm not sure if we talked about overseeding Washington Park.
we did.
We'll finalize that. We have a meeting on Tuesday. And of course, we will go ahead and overseed the golf course. So we are looking at doing that. We're looking at doing some ball field maintenance. We plan on going ahead and assessing the lips in the ball fields and spending some time maintaining those. If we need to, if we have to do any field dirt addition, we'll go ahead and do that. One thing that we do plan on doing, and actually he's not here today, but Sean has volunteered to do a field grooming class for anybody who has a priority use agreement so that we can properly get our fields groomed. Obviously, we know some of our fields, the dirt ends up in the outfield more than it should. And after the games is when your field grooming takes place, getting that dirt back in. So we're looking at planning one of those for all of our priority use agreements. We're in the process now of, don't want to say it, Christmas decorations. Getting those together for both Washington Park and downtown. Ice skating rink will be installed the last week in October on Jackson Street Pier. We will be meeting with all priority use agreements. They are on their second year of their 1+1. They will go into their second year, so we won't need to take anything to commission for this one. I would say we really haven't had any issues with our priority use agreements. We just want to be clear on what is city responsibility, what is priority use agreement group's responsibility. So we will spell all of that out, and we will be meeting with them to make some clarifications. And then, of course, we have AMVETS, which we know we have some work to do on the field as well.
Have you guys started are they done playing at AMVETS now?
They are.
Did anybody take the banners down?
They have not been taken down
Because I
yet.
heard they're getting pretty raggedy and not looking good, and somebody should have taken them down because we paid for them.
Right. I actually have was in contact with LaMarcus today. We were talking about
I
things.
just talked about it Friday.
Yeah, we literally we've been going back and forth on what needs to be done and what has to go to start prepping for winter time. So that is on the list.
And our
But thank you.
fall drive-through drop-off day is next Saturday.
Yeah.
So that's. another
23rd.
event. Yeah. 23rd. What's the time on that? 8 till?
8 to 11.
Ooh, wouldn't want to be there.
Why?
Rain and all this flooding.
Oh,
People
yeah, you're
wanna
right.
get
I didn't
rid
think
of.
that's probably going to be a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. You sure don't want to volunteer?
Dante will be there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'll call Nutty.
Fall programming, that should be you, Jason.
Yep, so our fall out of school program starts, I think flyers are all out, starts Monday. We have 82 spots of the 100 spots filled currently for the Monday through Thursday out of school program. Looking forward to having kids in the building again. Been kind of like 3 or 4 weeks since the summer one ended, and Linda and I, with our offices there, when we have to close the doors because it's so loud, that's always a good thing, because there's a bunch of kids running around. That'll start Monday and go through Thanksgiving, and then also a couple weeks in December. We do have homework help, that'll be part of that. And then we are working with Sandusky City Schools on the meals program. They have a new food service director, and we're, I think at the start, we're gonna be picking up meals from Adams and taking them over to Mills until they've got some changes that they're working through there. So we thank Sandusky City Schools for providing the meals for that program. We've also are ramping up some other programs. We've talked with somebody about doing an adult fitness during the day or in the evenings. We're trying to work around our out-of-school program to have some programs there. And then Open Way Yoga is going to be doing some yoga. And we also talked with somebody that does a music for toddlers program over at the Sandusky Library, but she's looking to expand what she offers, and we'd have that over at Mills as well. Those things would probably start closer to October with a kind of a preview night with those programs. So I'll be sending that out, and I'll send that out with our rec center flyer. One thing I didn't have on here, because it's kind of been going back and forth, but the fishing tournament that we talked about partnering with Shores and Islands, I have more information, more solid information. Sean had asked that I bring that info to the group. The flyer that has a big crappie on it is the group that wants to bring this fishing tournament here in next October. And I have some info on, it's a crappie fishing tournament that it's a little bit later in the season because they do that fishing when the water's a little bit colder. So they're looking at bringing it here October 24th through the 26th of 2024. It's about 150 boats with 300 plus anglers plus their family and friends. Their economic impact is over $210,000 but I've asked Shores and Islands to give us a better, they have like a calculator, they put all that stuff, and I think with that many anglers, it's more of an impact. But they're hoping to host the expo at Cedar Point Sports Center, but what they're waiting on is the okay from this entity, the rec board, and also Shores and Islands to provide the host fee, which is a $10,000 host fee that we would split with Shores and Islands, with $5,000 coming from the city and $5,000 coming from Shores and Islands. So I told the organizers I would bring it to this board to approve or deny that request. It's about normal for this type or size of a tournament to have that type of host fee that we've done in the past for tournaments like this.
Why does it say shootout?
I don't know. You mean just the what they call it? I mean, it's like a golf shootout. It's like a.
Everybody goes up in time.
Yeah.
Oh, how?
Some of the other golf, that would be what I think is, because when we call, what a shootout is, everybody starts
Shotgun
at the
start.
shotgun start
It-
at the same time. Now, I know I've worked some of the other fishing tournaments, and they parlay them out, they stagger start them. So my thoughts are, that would be what I would take of it, is everybody starts at the same time.
And I can follow up on that, but yeah, it's probably like Saturday morning. This past Saturday morning, we had some big winds coming out of the northeast, and all the bass boats from there's a Major League Fishing tournament over the weekend that they were getting airborne because they were all going out around the same time. About 100 boats for that event. So yeah, I would ask the rec board for, I guess, a vote or approval to,
Do we need a motion to fund this? Is that what you're asking me?
yeah.
You in favor of that, Jason?
It's kind of the normal way we've gone through this before with other tournaments is, yeah, I approve it. It's a new type of tournament that's off-season that we don't normally see for here, so it brings folks around and helps get people in the businesses and, you know.
Are there fish out there for them to catch?
Yeah, that's what they're saying, and I think the bay offers a protection, you know, if the lake is,
No
How the
question, when
lake
it's
can be-
cooler, it's better. That's-
yeah.
Well, I make a motion that we approve that, yeah.
Motion by Bernie, I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
I will let them know. Thank you.
Anything else there, Jason?
Nope, we just had drive-through drop-off day. Just want to let everybody know that it'll be a big day down there at the Shelby Street Boat Launch in case anybody doesn't, or is watching and doesn't know where it's at.
I'll throw it out there if anybody's planning anything for the teens for water-related items in the summer. Teens and adults. A lot of kids don't get to go to Cedar Point Beach.
Okay.
And I also have for you, one of my customers trying to get into some events with his food truck.
Oh, sure. Does he have bacon? Does he have bacon?
I don't think so. It says-
Can he add
It
bacon?
says Banshee's Famous Philly Dogs.
It sounds familiar. All right, yeah. Sorry, we'll talk offline. Need an
Anything else?
open discussion?
Need a The motion to adjourn.
I motion we adjourn.
No second. Did you put second in?
Yeah, good.
Everybody, welcome back, Larry.